right, well, you want to keep your car in good condition, but like so many people out there, you're strapped on a budget and you only want to do what's necessary when it comes to car maintenance. It's time to ask our auto man. Brian Bowersock from West Escondido Auto is here to talk to us about that very subject. A touchy subject, because obviously we want to take care of our car, but it's hard right now.
It's
you know,
hard right
money's
now. People
tight.
are trying to cut some corners, and which is understandable. Obviously,
Yeah.
everybody's on a budget these days, which is important. But what we do know is if you maintain your vehicle, it's a lot cheaper than a repair in the end. So that's one of the
Being
things.
proactive, right?
Proactive. We try to keep the vehicle in good working order, prevent costly breakdowns, repairs.
So let's talk first about the typical oil change, rotating your tires, that type of stuff. When should we be doing that? How often?
Depending on if you use synthetic or not, 3,000 to 8,000 miles in their normal fluids, 3,000 with regular petroleum oil, up to 8 to 10,000 sometimes with synthetics, depending on the manufacturer of the vehicle and what kind of synthetic you're using. Whoever's servicing your vehicle, hopefully you're taking it to a quality facility, should be making recommendations to you on intervals as far as that goes.
Okay, now I fall victim to this all the time. I don't do this. I don't, you know, go do my oil change when I'm supposed to, and my husband yells at me. But what are some of the consequences if you don't take care of the car like you're supposed to, especially with an oil change?
Well, with oil changes, number one, even newer cars do burn some oil, so you could run the car low on oil. Obviously, may not damage the engine at this point, but if you do it several times, can cause damage over time internally in the motor, which obviously can be an expensive repair. Oil does break down in a combustion engine, so it's very important to stay on top of that service.
Okay. As far as the 30, 60, and 90-mile checkups, I guess you could call them, how important are those, and what happens if we don't do those?
Well, those are set up, and I'm real careful about this because out there we see a lot of generic, get a 30, 60, 90K for your vehicle. They are set up by the manufacturers depending on make and model, and it's very important to follow the manufacturer's recommendations. At West Escondido, a lot of other great facilities, we use a program that's actually put out by the manufacturers that prints out exactly what's needed for your year, make,
car,
model,
exactly.
your car, what they recommend. This is what we recommend to do, because they do recommend a service transmission certain times. They do recommend filters replaced, different things, differential service, different things like that, cabin air filters, depending on the situation the car is driven in. So it's very important to
get to know your car
those.
Personality, right? That's the best
Well,
way to
correct,
do it.
because each one is extremely different. There is no cookie cutter for a 30, 60, 90K anymore.
Okay. Well, we've got about 30 seconds here, Brian. What did you bring with us real quickly?
I brought along some filters, different kinds of oil filters. Obviously, different vehicles use different types. Fuel filter. Spark plugs these days are lasting up to 100,000 miles depending on the manufacturer and what they use. We always recommend OEM type spark plugs, AC Delco for GM's, NGK for a lot of Japanese vehicles. Whatever came factory, we often install. And some air filters that are brought along that are important to keep your engine breathing clean.
All right. Well, thank you so much. So I guess moral of the story, get the maintenance now, because it'll be less expensive later, right?
Absolutely.
All right, Brian, thanks so much for stopping by this morning.
Thank you.
All right, for more information, of course, just go to our website, san diego6.com, and click on Hot Topics.